This video will review a basic demo of Ephesoft software. I'll log in. We use LDAP. Once I've logged in, you can now see the administrative module. We keep it simple and straightforward and only have the functions that are important to use. The first tab is Batch Class Management. And under this, I have several batch classes that I've defined here. These are at a high level the descriptions of what you might want to process. For example, this one's a mortgage demonstration. This one is a PDF generator. This is a mailroom classification example. If I go to the next page, I have patient records that I might want to classify, or county records. So each particular batch class shows a definition of what you want to process and the priority of the batch class. If I drill down into the mortgage demo, you note that I have a workflow defined here. This is built in JBPM. It's customizable if you want to add your own processes in here or change the order or add other functionality. I also have document types. So for the mortgage document, I have a HUD1, transmittal summary, and other types of documents. I can pretty much add as many document types as I want here. No real true limits in practicality. And within each document type, I can also look at this further and notice that I have particular elements that I want to pull off of each document. So in this case, I want to pull off the HUD1 statement a loan number, file number, and sales price. This is unstructured processing and allows me to pull this data off regardless of where it is on the page. If I look at the loan number in a little more detail, you note that I have a loan number defined. It's a string function, and I'm using a regular expression key value listing here. So I'm looking for the pattern of 7 dot, and based on finding 7 dot, look to the bottom right of that number and then pull off a value of 8 digits. I can add as many of these as I want here for it to look to the right, bottom right, left, wherever that data may be, and compound these key values. So that's the first tab, and defining these in a little more detail. The next tab is Batch Instance Management, which essentially shows me the status of all the batches out in the queue. I can select them by priority. They're ranked in priority between 1 and 100, depending on the priority that I want to process the batch in, how important it is for service level agreements. Also, I can review by status. I can just look at the ones that are finished, the ones that might be in error, the ones that are running, etc. Finally, the last tab tells me about reports. We produce all of our information in XML, and this is available for reporting. And that's pretty much the administration module. This is a thin client, 100% thin client, and it's used to develop the system, define the categories, and write the rules. So next, I'd like to open up the user tab. So I'll come here, and this is the user screen. So again, this is thin client. You can have as many users tied to the server as you want that may be doing classification or validation. Let me give you an overview of the screen. First off, I have 3 tabs. Home, where I'm at right now. Batch detail, which is very similar to what I'm looking at now, but it automatically feeds the batches to me. So in a batch type operation, an operator can take one job after another automatically, and it's automatically served to them. And finally, a web scanner tab, which is used for thin client Twain-based scanning. Let's start with that first. So for the web scanner, I would select a Twain source that you would have installed on the laptop or on the PC. And I don't have one here, but that would be how you'd pick it. Then you would select the batch class that you have already defined in the previous section of where you want to scan. So say, for example, I want to scan to the mortgage document batch class. That's how I'd pick it. And then I just start scanning. This starts scanning your documents directly to the server. We've tested 40, 50, 60 page per minute scanners, but it scans directly to the server. So the only criteria there is your bandwidth availability. But it's a nice tool if you want to scan into the system. Normally, we'll pull from directories, and you might use another scan software to get the information in there. So let's go back to the Home tab. So overviewing the Home tab, you notice I have 2 tabs here. I have Review, which is document review. This is the process where we review what the computer did in terms of actually classifying the documents. In other words, did it find all the documents in the stack that I gave it? Did it classify them correctly? And did it create the doc sets correctly? Secondarily, I have validation. Validation is a tab that I use to verify whether I extracted the data correctly. You may use one or both of these, or you don't have to use both of them. You could just have a job that maybe you're just extracting data for the same type of document, or maybe you're just reviewing the classification, or in this particular example, it's a mortgage application. We're doing both. We're reviewing the classification, and then we're going to, after we validate that it classified everything correctly, we're going to go to validation and actually approve and review the OCR process. Let's show you what we're going to import into the system. This is a mortgage application, and here we have 9 documents. This is how they were scanned. No cover page, no separator sheets, all in order of scanning, but no delineation in terms of what's the first page, what's the second page, are these documents together or not. Okay, so let's show you what the user would do. Go to the user tab. I'll pick a mortgage demo tab here, batch. And this is the screen I see. Again, we keep it very simple, very simplified, and built for fast use. So on the left-hand side at a high level, I have all my documents and how they were classified. In the middle, I have a description of what the classifications are and what they could be. And on the right, I have a blow-up of the document. Since we are built for high-speed environments, enterprise-wide environments, we have a control sequence of keyboard shortcuts. These are used for fast keying, so the operator's fingers never leave the keyboard, and you can do everything from the keyboard without touching the mouse. So what I see on the left in a little more detail, I see that there's 5 different doc groups or document types here, and each document type may have one, in this case, or several documents. Doc 2 has a 4-page document. Doc 3 is a 1-page document. Doc 4 is a 3-page document. And Doc 5 is a 1-page document. So I see Doc 2 red and highlighted. What that means is this did not pass the confidence of the system. It thinks it's a 4-page document. I can click on the thumbnails and see what the document looks like on the right. And I can see in the middle the pull down of what the document types are in this particular example. In this case, it thinks it's a HUD statement. It's actually correct. We tricked it to make it stop on this, otherwise it wouldn't stop on anything. But that's how it's done. So if I look at Doc 3, it's transmittal summary, it's correct. Doc 4, loan application, that's correct. Doc 5, single page, good faith estimate. And then Doc 1 was an invoice, single page. These are all correct. So in production, we would stop only on Doc 2. Operator done the control sequence, control Q, acknowledging that it's correct, and that's completion of the batch. Next, I'll go to validation. Again, I mentioned validation is the validation of the data that was extracted from the documents. So let's open up a batch here. Same type of screen, same simplicity. We see the doc sets, Doc 1 through 4. Doc 1 is a 4-page document. But what we see something different here is we see these data fields on the bottom here. And that's the process where we can validate that the operator, that the system actually extracted the data correctly, and the operator can validate this. So let's blow up this image a little. So in this case, stopping on the first one, loan number, it read this value through an unstructured format, looking for 7 dot as I showed you earlier. And based on 7 dot and looking to the bottom right, it found this value of X number of digits. That's correct. There's nothing highlighted here, so we go on to the next one. Next one's file number. Again, we looked at it by looking at 6 dot or the word file number or anything else you may want to define to find that value. Again, it's not template based, it's unstructured forms based. So finding 6 dot file number, I found the value below it, and that's the correct value. It matches the pattern. Finally, sales price, we look here. Again, we found it through the tags that we set up and the rules. It's actually red. It's highlighted. It says sales price should be compliant with the pattern 10,000. So that was highlighted. The operator just has to come here and correct it to the proper value. But what the system does, it only stops on those characters that, or those fields that are violated or not, it's not sure of. So in practicality, for a clean document such as you see here, you may only stop on 5% or less of the characters. So that means 100 characters. If you had 100 characters on a document, 95 are going to be read correctly. No need to look at them. And maybe only 5% of the characters you might have to look at might have a rule violation. So given this process, it's a much more efficient process of classifying the documents and extracting the data with minimized human intervention. Also on the fuzzy search here, this shows how we have database lookup and matching. So if I just type Jack here, for example, I can bring up the database fields, anything that matches or is a close match, and allow the operator to pick what the correct record is and maybe pull in some additional metadata. So that's basically it. This is a high-level overview. If you look at our website, we'll have many more specific reviews of specific applications. Thank you. So that concludes our presentation. You can contact us on the web at www.ephesoft.com or send us an email at info@ephesoft.com. Our number is 949-331-7500, and we also have a presence on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. Thank you for watching this video.